What is up guys, Julian Mikkel here of Social Vignerons. Welcome back to another wine video. Today we're going under the sun of the south of France. We're tasting some wines I've been wanting to taste for quite a long time. We're tasting the wines of famous Provence producer. We're tasting the wines of Mirabeau. This is the 13th episode of Tasting with Julian. So why Mirabeau wines, and why have I been wanting to taste those wines for quite a while? Well, essentially because of this video that Stephen Cronk, the owner of Mirabeau, made quite a while ago about how to open a bottle of wine with a shoe, without a corkscrew, just with a shoe. And this video has gone viral and it's brought a lot of attention to Mirabeau. It's a very, very popular video. I'll link down below if you haven't watched it. And essentially this very morning, I was shooting a video trying for myself to open a bottle of rosé of Mirabeau wine with a shoe, and it actually worked. So if you haven't seen this, again, I'll link down below and I'll link somewhere around here, and I recommend you go and check this out. Since this video, I've been intrigued to taste the Mirabeau wines. Also, Stephen has quite an interesting story.
And to follow my passion, I quit my job. We sold our house and we moved with a family to Provence in the south of France.
He used to live in London. He's a British man, and he relocated completely, entirely some 10 years ago, around 2008, 2009. He relocated to the south of France, not speaking French, and started making rosé wine, starting a wine business down there. Since now 10 years have passed, and the wines of Mirabeau are very popular, very popular all around the world. So I wanted to know what's behind those wines, and it's a good opportunity to talk about Provence rosé wines as well. First thing, you can see we've got a variation of colors here, so it's going to be interesting to taste those different wines. So let's get tasting. First off, let's start with Mirabeau Classic. It's not written on the label, but Mirabeau calls this cuvée the Classic. This retails around $15 in the US, I believe, so a pretty affordable rosé, one that many of you will be able to find at your local store. The color on this is relatively pale. Clearly a salmon color, but it's got a lot of red to it, more than yellow. What's interesting, what's important to know about Provence rosé is that it's made directly by pressing red grapes. We're talking grapes from the south of France, we're talking grapes from Syrah, Grenache and Cinsault, and that's actually the exact blend of this wine. This one has a dominant of Syrah with 60% Syrah, and then about 30% Grenache, I believe, and the remainder is about 10% Cinsault. So those red grapes, there's no rosé grape. It's made with red grapes. I did make a video about how Provence wine is made. So again, go and check this out if you haven't seen it, and if you're interested in the topic. The nose is delicate. It's very floral. You find in Provence rosé that they're not that fruity. It's not all about red berries, but it's more about elderflowers, it's more about floral elements. Pomegranate is a common descriptor, and there's quite a lot of it here. This is a dry rosé wine, super dry, mineral acidity that tickles the side of your tongue. It's very refreshing, it's super fruity, but we're talking citrus fruit, there's a bit of lemon, grapefruit, pomegranate, as I was saying before. Maybe if you look deep you can find some blueberry. It's all very crisp, very elegant, very mineral, a nice the Zingy Rosé. Fantastic for summer barbecues, Mediterranean style tapas, this sort of tasty foods that need some wines that are light, that are refreshing, that are zingy. Moving on to the pure cuvée. While the classic retails around $15, this retails around $25, so it's quite a step up. Longer, skinnier bottle, looking more classy. The color is a little bit less red, and we're heading towards the more orangey tone of salmon pink. Mirabeau says that they select high altitude vineyards or higher altitude vineyards for this cuvée. Higher end Provence wines tend to be leaner, more concentrated, more acidity, even more food friendly. Much more concentrated wine. As you put it on your palate, you can sense straight away that the body is much bigger. It fills your palate completely, and then the acidity breaks through that body. The zingy acidity, it's also quite salty and mineral, a lot more, so there's a lot more focus, and this drives to a much longer finish as well. Flavors are relatively similar, but they're a bit more intense. There's more spices as well, and there's a bit of a leafy, slightly vegetal, but in the positive way, character to it, with some salivating, salty phenolics to the finish. You could serve this in a gastronomic, in a high-end restaurant or higher-end restaurant, and it will go well with fine food that has been prepared with a lot of care. So is it worth the jump in price? In this case, I would say most definitely. You can definitely sense that this is a much better, more complete wine. Depends on the occasion. For a simple casual enjoyment, the Mirabeau Classic is more than enough, but if you want something a little bit more special, the Pure is definitely there. And then comes the Étoile Cuvée by Mirabeau. I am tasting here vintage 2017 wines, so you have to consider these wines are 1 year old already. Vintage 2018 is not out quite yet. Étoile Cuvée, similar approach to the Pure, similar retail price around $25–30. Not entirely sure what the difference is in concept with the Étoile, but you can definitely tell that they're aiming perhaps at slightly different markets, slightly different taste and different approaches. The colors are different, the bottles are different, so the wine looks straight away a lot more yellow. It's always salmon pink, but there's definitely many more hues of yellow color in there. The nose is much more restrained. Touches of yeasty characters, little floral elements, touches of lily, elderflower. It's very subtle, very delicate to smell. Yeah, so the Étoile is much more on a spicy side and citrusy, savory, bitter side of Provence Rosé. I'm getting a lot of lemon, a lot of grapefruit, and it comes with the sort of slight bitterness that you get in citrus fruit as well. Nearly no berry fruits in this one. It's all about pear and citrus and a bit of vegetal, phenol-like sort of taste. Similar approach, similar balance, Similar type of concentration to the pure, but this is a Provence rosé for those that do not want the obvious red berry, strawberry characters in their rosé. This is more of a rosé wine for those that want something leaner, closer to a white wine actually. And looking at it and after tasting it, this is almost a white wine, you know, slightly pinkish white wine by looking at it, but by tasting it, if you were to taste this completely blind, you may find that this is more like a white wine. Doesn't quite taste like a Chardonnay, obviously, but there are some yeasty, leesy characters to it as well, so with touches of vegetal elements. So much more like a white wine. Fine, gastronomic, elegant, quite long and complex. It's an enjoyable wine. I mean, it's not super expensive. For $25 you're getting something different, something special, something food friendly again. Very, very interesting. So to summarize, the wines of Mirabeau are all very precise, very well crafted, well balanced, fresh, dry, crisp, zingy, fruity, floral, lean, very, very well made. Well done, Stephen, for the crafting, and the winemakers that help you as well. Really well made wines. I mean, the classic Mirabeau for me is kind of the standout because it's affordable and it's got everything you expect and you love about Provence rosé. So I think if I were to buy one of those, I would go for the classic. But if I wanted something a little bit more special, if you're after red berry fruit flavors, go for the pure. It's definitely super, super enjoyable, driven, round and fruity, an excellent wine. If you want something even more special, completely different style from what we know and love and expect, the Étoile is, if you're bored with all the other Provence rosé styles and you like the style but you want to experience something different, the Étoile has this je ne sais quoi. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be back with more champagne wine tastings. I've got some, what have I got? California sparkling wines coming up for the holidays. So make sure you follow up the growing of this channel and the development of the Tasting with Julian show. I love you guys. Hope you're having a fantastic week, and I'll see you soon in the wine world.